Hello, and welcome to Art 105. This is a completely online asynchronous course, but I did want to give this welcome message. Um, and so let me take you to our D2L page so I can give you a little tour of how we're going to navigate this course together. First of all, my name's Raven Moffett. I'm a professor at Pima. I am in the art department and I'm art faculty. I'm also a maker. I just came from a pottery class, but really photo and video are my primary background. And I'm also a student. I'm working on my PhD at University of Arizona in American Indian Studies. So I completely understand, we've got life going on and we're also scholars and learners, and I'm really grateful to be a part of your learning journey, even though it'll be quite distanced since this is online and asynchronous. Just to let you all know and to be open with you all, this is my first time running this course in this format. So please just reach out to me via email. And that is, my email's all over the place, all over this site. But right when you land on the front page, there will be an announcement by the time that this is up. But right now I'm recording this a little bit early. There's not quite yet one. There's this Ask a Librarian module, which I highly recommend you all reaching out in some form, going physically to a library or using this D2L platform to make contact with a librarian to help strengthen your research in this course and your other courses. But I've also got this instructor widget, got a great picture of me and my primary collaborator, my dog, and you've got my email right here. So anything comes up, any concerns, any confusion, please just shoot me an email. I try to get back to folks by the end of the day, but life happens. If you think that I have missed it, if it's been a couple days, please feel free to ping me again and just refresh that, because emails do land in different spaces. I will say sometimes folks don't know or accidentally or are intentionally and just like aren't considering, they'll send emails from their personal email to my Pima, and sometimes that'll automatically put it in the spam folder. So I highly recommend using your Pima email, because that's what I have on record. That's what I'm going to be emailing to update you all, or just directly through D2L. And let's just keep it there, keep it in that space, so we don't have any confusion about and miscontact. I think that's the most like streamlined. Okay, so here's our course. If you click on content, you get a whole map of what we'll be doing in this course. And you just kind of walk through. I've got it set up in a pretty linear fashion, so you just click and go. So in this first module, you got a welcome module, and it would be helpful maybe to read this as a crash course and welcome. I'm actually not going to read that to you. I have faith that you all can do it. The one thing I am going to draw your attention to, the primary things that you've got to be able to access to know what we're doing and to get things done online, is what I'm going to highlight it just in this welcome video. It's the syllabus. And when you sign up for a class and you don't drop it, you keep it, that you're agreeing through the syllabus as kind of a contract to all the things stipulated on it, right? So that's a way for us to hold each other mutually accountable. Again, you've got my contact front and center. You really, my phone is listed because that's a requirement of the college, but I am not very responsive to my phone because I am teaching other courses or in other courses myself. And my voicemail never works. So if you want to make contact with me, email me. I do check it, and I'll be all over it, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. After that email, if it would be better for us to have a meeting that's kind of like a phone call or something along those lines where we can go straight back and forth, Zoom is how I do that. And so you don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to, but we'll do a meeting that looks a lot like this. And here's that link. Just email me first and we can set up a time that works for both of us. I do have these open hours on Friday, but I'm not like checking in, and sometimes you need to be admitted or things like that. So just send me an email if you want to meet and we'll set up a time. I've got some information about the department chair and some other resources. If you ever have an issue with D2L, especially with this course, call that technical tech support right away. You've got your course description. This course is going to be an exploration of historical and contemporary art and the visual image within the context of global culture. This includes selective perception, formal analysis, materials and techniques, art and visual culture in a historical and contemporary framework, and museum galleries and public spaces. I have a background in all of those as a maker. I've also worked in many museums, and I'm an arts professor. So if you have questions about any of those, again, just email me. All of your content is embedded on D2L. So as long as you're staying up to date, going on D2L daily, checking your email, you will in doing all the work you need to do, I think you will succeed in this course. But if you have any confusion or feel yourself falling behind, please reach out. Please reach out early and be honest, and I will support you in any way that I can. Just do want to remind that because this is a 3-credit course, and this is a 14-week, so it's just slightly compressed from the traditional 16-week, you are expected to dedicate an average of 10 hours a week to this course. Could be sliding between 8 and 12. And that'll really, make sure that you're successful doing all the work you need to do. I know it can be difficult when you don't have meeting times, but aim for that, and we'll work together. Again, because this is completely online and asynchronous, you got to have access to a computer and the internet and your PIMA email address. If you are experiencing troubles with any of those, I am not a tech person. I don't control PIMA's email or D2L, so I'm actually not the person to really go to with that. You can send me an email saying I'm experiencing some technical issues and I'm reaching out to other people, but I can't problem solve for you if you get locked out of your PIMA email. That would be a moment where you need to reach out to PIMA's tech support, and their contact is here. Another part of this, though, is that you need to be virtually plugged in because this is a virtual course. But this course also will occasionally require you to venture out into the world and experience some art, and it's very flexible. Could be, public art, visual art. It could be you're interested in architecture, performance, theater, concerts, museums. If it has that visual element, very open to it, and you'll be doing some assignments, experiencing that in person. So, do pay attention to that, map that out, figure that into your schedule. I I think all courses likely have a statement on the use of AI by now. If they don't, I think they likely will, at least this semester. I am expecting that you are doing your work, that you are not using an AI generated program in any kind of step of the way. There are tutoring services through PIMA, and there's other ways to get you to where you need to be. I understand AI can totally be a collaborative thing to help us kind of like get where we need to go. But because this course is about me evaluating your knowledge on the subject, if you are using an AI generator kind of in any aspect, I do consider that not your own work. And then we get into issues of plagiarism and cheating and dishonesty. So if it's discovered, and it's actually pretty easy for me as somebody who's a younger professor and works in, not as a tech person, like I said, but a lot of my art making is coming from a space that is, kind of on the cutting edge of technology in terms of video and imaging. I'm pretty familiar with AI, so I will likely be able to identify that. The repercussions there are stated. Some folks have already reached out about materials for this course and a textbook. There is no textbook. Don't worry about it. It's all embedded in D2L. I would suggest that you have, some physical notebook paper, some pencils and pens, drawing paper. There will be moments where you need to document things. So some sort of camera. What you've got on your phone is likely just absolutely fine. And again, you may need to figure out how to get yourself places to go experience art in the world. There is an art making aspect of this course, which is really awesome. It kind of, we're integrating this historical perspective, this contemporary maker's perspective, through research and through embodied practice. And so there is a self-portrait assignment. And so, be thinking about what medium you want to experiment in. And, maybe you want to do just a drawing. So you need to get some nicer pencils and some paper. Maybe you want to work with some sculpture. So you'd be using wood or clay. So just kind of, be thinking about that. And plan accordingly in terms of getting your materials ready. We've got our outcomes listed. I won't read those to you, but I hope we do hit on all of them. Do want to make sure that people are aware that this course does meet some requirements, and those are listed there. All grades that you'll be receiving go through D2L. If you have questions about your grades, email me, and then we can set up a Zoom meeting to talk about it. It's not totally secure for me to just email those to you. So I just want to protect you and your information and make sure you have those. D2L is great at just kind of doing all the math. But if you think there's been an error, again, please feel free to email me and draw my attention to it. If you've taken PIMA courses before, you might be familiar with withdrawal or incompletes. I also have the course breakdown here about how many points you're able to receive for lots of your different assignments, and then what your total is calculated out of. I can't accept late work because we're all completely digital submissions through D2L. And if you start falling behind, things can really pile up. So do make sure you're checking our schedule, which is the next document I'm going to show you, and you're keeping to that. Just another place here where I'm reiterating that you've got a little bit of field trip component in this course. So make those plans. Great. I do want to draw your attention to the fact that, like I said, when you sign up for a course and decide to take it, you don't drop it. You are entering in a contract between yourself and the school and me that we're all going to do our job and try our best. And so part of that, I'm trying to give you points for that, for reading this document, for making sure you know what you're doing. And so following this, there's a syllabus quiz. And it's worth 5 points. It's only one question, and that could be really helpful down the line. So it's just an easy 5 points. Do that, and that's gonna make me know that you're paying attention. You're on a good path. Again, more about how to check your grades all through D2L. You go up to the grades tool, and it should be there. If you're experiencing any issues with that, feel free to email me. But if it's an issue with D2L, then we'll have to kind of outsource it and work with our D2L techs. I've got information about our activities. Again, you have to attend an art event, and you've got to do one offered by Pima Community College. I'm hopeful that they will have virtual art events, but as we're kind of our landscape and our understanding of the pandemic is shifting, a lot of things are returning to person. So we'll do a little investigating and see what's available to satisfy that requirement. You do have quizzes at the conclusion of each of our modules. They're worth 20 points each. You also, part of this, even though we're not meeting at set times, is I do want you to be participating in the course content, and one way for me to see that is through discussions. So there's a total of 4 topics. They're each require a 300 to 400 word response, and in each discussion you're also required to respond to another student's work and provide another response that's at least 100 words. So to get full discussion points, you have to have your correctly cited response to the topic, and then you need to respond to one of your classmates. And so that's a way to get that kind of classroom engagement even in this virtual setting. Again, plan to go out into the world, plan to go to a local museum. You may not be based in Pima County, or you may be traveling, and that's okay. If you're, in New York, awesome museums there. If you're in LA, incredible museums there. But even if you are kind of in a place that maybe you wouldn't expect a big name museum, there are some really incredible museums all over the US and all over the world. But I think about Oklahoma has incredible museums. Arkansas has really strong collections. So even if you think you might not be in that place because you're not in a very built up urban space, likely there is a fun museum that might provide you some local history from different perspectives that hopefully is accessible to you. And again, you have this capstone kind of there at the end, self-portrait project. So we're doing on-the-ground investigation of art space. We're practicing with some of our artistic tools. I want you to know that you don't have to be a committed artist to do this self-portrait. I just want you to, this is a moment where you can engage that creative side and think about some formal aspects, balance, symmetry, and use them to the best of your ability. But don't feel self-conscious about that at all if, art is not something you are practicing doing all the time. I have this netiquette statement, just highlighting that folks should be courteous, in your discussion places and all of our dialogue. We want this to be a positive learning environment, and it's fair to offer critique, but take that as from a place of respect. I do have your key dates listed here. This class begins on September 7th, and your refund drop deadline is the same day. So I really, really, really hope that you all are getting in here, excited, checking it out. And if it's not a good fit for you, I don't take it personally, that's fine. Drop the course. But do make that decision quickly. And then if later on it becomes needed that you would drop the course, the student withdrawal deadline is November 10th. Great. Okay. So, the next thing for us to really look at is the dates and what your assignments are. And I have that set somewhere else, so that if there's any kind of shifting that has to happen, I can just change that document and I don't have to make changes to our syllabus. I do have student resources listed here, and just let me know, email me if you have any questions or concerns. So that's our syllabus. Going back to our welcome module, and the next thing that's really important is your schedule of work. Right off the bat, any assignment that's due, it's due on that date at 11:30 p.m. So I know some instructors will do it right at midnight. I've found it's wiser to close it slightly before, because when people just are like getting down to the line, the work quality really drops off. Great. So I have this, it's not always linear because I have it kind of chunked up by module. And so your first step is this freebie kind of quiz, this one question that you can take after looking at your syllabus, which is the course contract. That's 5 points. That's due on the 10th. Then you have this discussion that's an icebreaker. You're reading some videos, and note that, reading doesn't involve points, but you demonstrate that you did read those by taking your quiz. So I just have the due dates, to finish up your reading on the same day that your quiz is due. I welcome people working ahead, if you're able to do that. But again, once you start getting behind, it gets really difficult to kind of catch up. So have this this document on hand, refer to it. If you have any questions, email me, and email me ahead of time before things kind of accumulate. Great. And then I have some notices about when things open. So I'm trying to kind of ease people into the course, not overwhelm you with all of these things right at once. You kind of like get your toes in, and then I'll release these kind of like end bigger projects towards the end of September. So they're not due then, they're due towards the end of the course. And I note that by saying they're due in module 8. Then you can just kind of scroll down here. You can see sometimes we have modules that have a little bit more content, like this module 1, it's got 2 quizzes. Module 2 was more concise, so we just have 1, and it fluctuates. So this is really where you go to if you have any questions about when things are due. D2L is very helpful in that it also sets up deadlines for things, so that when you are kind of perusing your modules here, you should have information about when this course, like your quizzes, are due. But if there's ever a conflict, go back to this welcome module and refer to our syllabus and our schedule of work. Those are really our key important documents. Then I have a couple of other things, a little bit more about me, and some writing tools for you all. Reach out to your librarians, but here's some other tools that you can use to self-learn. And I've also got some orientation for online learning, and just maybe some moments where if this is a first time, or you've done online learning before but you've never had to like upload a video from your iPhone, here's some kind of troubleshooting links that can help with that. So if you ever come across maybe something that you're struggling with D2L, or you just need a little refresher, feel free to, I encourage you to kind of peruse our D2L, because we have lots of resources linked here. I also have my grading rubrics up front in this welcome section, so you know what I'm looking for in terms of your assignments. Great. Well, thank you so much for sticking with me for a little bit in this virtual tour. I'm gonna stop sharing here just to say goodbye. Again, my name's Raven Moffett. You can just call me Raven or Professor Moffett. And I look forward to working with you all this semester. Please, please, please email me if you have any questions, any concerns. I'm here to help, but I can only help if you let me know that there's a problem. I may not be able to solve all of our issues, but I can hopefully at least get us on the right track. Great. Good luck with the course, and looking forward to learning with you all.